I am calling it an era, not a 4-year presidential term, an era of retrenchment. Because I think this is certainly something that predates what happened on November 5th, 2024. And I think this is something that is going to last after January 21st in 2029. So I think we want to kind of think of it in those terms, but also think of it in those terms without getting overwhelmed by those terms. And so hopefully some of the things I'm going to share can kind of speak to this moment. So I think the first thing I want to do is to kind of define why I'm talking about it as a time or an era of retrenchment, as opposed to period. Brittany Cooper, very prominent Black feminist theorist, is talking about this as a period of re-segregation. Certainly, there's the word fascism that has been used repeatedly. And so when I'm using the word retrenchment, I'm really talking not just from an academic perspective, but from a lived experience perspective of policy retrenchments, right? And so policy retrenchments really consist of this actual scaling back of policies and protections for communities. And I think it's important to think about both of those. There are the policies piece, right? So you think about what's going on at NIH, what's going on at CDC, what's going on at NSF, and a host of other kind of alphabet soup of organizations at the federal level. But also you can think about the stripping back at the state level primarily, but again, trickling into the federal level of the protections that have been afforded to many, many communities, right? And so I'm going to talk a smidge about that, but I think we can have much more conversation about that. So retrenchment includes both of those components. There are the policy rollbacks, can't say this, can't say that. And then there are the protections that are being stripped from communities at the same time, and maybe even folks on this call, right? So I think we want to honor that space, that this is not just something that's out there, that's, folks who are not us, it also is us.